Hey everyone, it's Annie
and Brady
from the Never Growing Up podcast, a Disney Parks podcast for adults.
Thanks so much for joining us for this week's episode. Make sure you subscribe and leave a rating for us on whatever app you're joining our conversation.
And don't forget to follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links for all of our accounts are in our show notes.
Enjoy the show! Hi everybody, and welcome back to another fun-filled, exciting episode of Never Growing Up, a Disney Parks podcast for adults. Today we're going to continue our virtual tour through the parks and also touch on some news bits that have dropped through the Disney community. We'll see you in Tomorrowland. Alright guys, hi, how's it going? My name is Brady McCleary. You guys know me as Brady Cam on Instagram, and with me, as always, as if I would ever pick anybody else, is my wonderful fellow host.
I thought you called me a waterfall.
My waterfall.
I was like, a waterfall. Don't go.
And I'm gonna go Jason Waterfall.
Waterfalls. Oh, I guess I can't say that because it's a copyright violation, but here we are. No one listens. It's fine.
Introduce yourself.
Oh my God. Hi, my name is Annie at WDW Collect. I give up.
Guys, it's Monday. Hello. I hope you had a fantastic 4th of July weekend. I know some people get an extended weekend. I am some people. So I hope everybody was safe and made good decisions and, did something to better yourself. Today, we're gonna briefly talk about some news that has come through the Disney community, and then we're gonna continue our virtual tour of the Magic Kingdom. And today's actually the last section. It's Tomorrowland.
Yeah, and by the way, you guys seem to really like these tours that we've been doing. They've been some of our highest downloaded episodes in short periods of time. So cool. Thanks. Glad you like it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I wonder where we're gonna go next. Animal Kingdom, Epcot, the world's our oyster.
I know. So do you want to start with Tomorrowland, or did you want to talk about a couple of the extra news bits that were coming up?
Let's talk about these news bits real quick.
News bits.
So the first one, and I think probably one of the more important ones, is this talk of Disney not really wanting to do testing, corona testing on the performers at the parks.
Yeah, so not all performers, and we say performers like these are like the singers and dancers or actors, right? So not all of performers are equity performers. And for those of you who don't know what equity is the union for theater actors, singers. So there's different unions, obviously there's SAG, which is for film, TV, equities for theater. So equity, which many of the higher end performers are, so that would be the people who are in Frozen Ever After, some of the dancers in why am I brain farting? Oh, the Lion King. What's that Lion King show? What's that Lion King show?
Circle of Life.
Is it the one in Animal Kingdom? Yeah. So some of them, not all of them. Only I think the Can We Feel the Love Tonight dancers are equity, and someone else is equity too. So it's only a couple different roles. I think some of the performers in the Beauty and the Beast stage show are equity, and then some people in some of the parades. So it's not all over the place, but equity.
Festival of the Lion King.
Festival of the Lion King. What the hell? If you do not meet the qualifications for a union, just as any union, SAG has its own rules and equity has very stringent rules. Weird story. One of my friends was in a show and someone had to be topless in the show, but you couldn't see them. You only saw the back. So you saw side boob, right? But if you were not an equity performer, you were not allowed to be on stage or near the backstage once she took her top off. They have weird rules like that. So Like, I get it. I don't know. I'm like, we're not equity and we're watching her take her top off, but that's beside the point. Um, so anyways, you have to meet certain recommendations. And so because apparently Walt Disney World is not going to be at this point anyways, that I'm assuming they're going to change this just because of you need equity. Well, actually equity performers are more expensive, so I could see them just screwing this up somehow. But they're not testing performers on a regular basis like SAG is doing for, for, like the qualifications to go back to filming TV and movies and stuff like that are not going to be testing regularly at Disney. That's why they've like basically said like you can't have equity performers then. Long story short. What the hell? Why wouldn't you be testing why wouldn't you be testing people like
Yeah, especially, I
regularly?
mean,
This is why Florida's the shit show it is.
yeah, 100%. I mean, I think in order to even come back to work, they should test the performers and well, all the cast members.
Yeah.
Because then, like, if they, if they test positive, then they know, hey, they can't come back to work. Or if they test negative, then they at least know they're starting with everybody healthy at the
Right.
employee side of things. Um, and then if somebody does get sick, it's because they opened up, not because of who they started with, versus, hey, we're opening
Right.
up and we're also infecting people.
Right. Yeah. And the whole situation with and we talked about this last week, guys, and we're me personally, this is Annie. I don't know, right, if you feel differently, but like I am super, super against Disney opening next week. Like I think it's such a bad decision, especially that Florida is starting to hit numbers that New York City was seeing back during their peak. So I don't get it, but this is just such a bad choice.
Yeah, and now that I'm not even going until June, I could care less if they
Yeah.
open. Uh, and I don't know if it's smart or not. The number. I don't even know if it matters. Like the numbers are still going up. They have not done anything but go up. But
Yeah,
here we
right.
are.
Yeah, they're not doing anything to really
And
fix it.
honestly,
Yeah.
it's not even just Disney's fault. It's a lot of us as the consumers'
Yeah,
fault
right.
because I mean, how people reacted when their reservations got canceled. You
Right.
know, they were like, "Oh, well, they better, accommodate me, put me in a nicer hotel than I paid for because this is, it's America. We
Yeah, like
want to sue for everything." And it's like, "Oh, my vacation was ruined," which is understandable. So was mine. But it's like, Am I gonna go in there and yell at the poor cast member and be like, no, I know I paid for Pop Century, but you canceled on me. Why am I not in the contemporary now?"
yeah, yeah.
And it's like, and if
So,
they were to do this again, it's only the Karens are only gonna get
yeah.
meaner.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, people, it's supply and demand.
Yeah.
We're demanding it, and they're supplying it, and I don't know, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you guys are I think it's funny though, like when they when people are like, "Oh, like we need to be able to make our own decisions." Well, clearly we can't make the right decisions, and that's why things get worse. But here we are. Um so yeah, so I think equity is doing the right thing for their members. This is not a union debate, guys. We're not getting into that. We're just saying they're trying to protect. Like we're not getting into that nonsense. We're just saying that like they're just trying to protect their members, and this is a legitimate thing, and this is what's going on. And I know that some of the enclosed theaters. So like I think Frozen Ever After is not coming back right away when the park reopens. So like some of these that have live performers that are in an enclosed theater are not coming back right away for obvious reasons. And if you've seen actually we talked about this in the last episode. So the way that they're handling any kind of indoor type of ride if they are going to be open is that they're going to have like every other row filled and then it would be like families stick together and then there needs to be so many seats in between you. And that's if again those interior locations do open. So, look out for that if you are planning on going. I mean, don't get all pissy and moany that we're saying maybe you should be a little safer. I just saw a 41-year-old person die yesterday from coronavirus who was perfectly healthy and was in the ICU for 90 days, but That's my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but and also too, like there's a couple other changes you need to be aware of. There, if you do plan on going there, the standalone bars are not going to be open. So some of our
Segue for the gods.
segue for the gods. Yeah, I know that was like probably my best segue of all time. So yeah, like any of the standalone bars, I see more standalone bars actually like at Animal Kingdom. And I guess because a lot of the bars, no. Yeah, because anything like that you would consider a standalone bar. So I would consider like anything that they serve alcohol that's kind of like a bar. So like for example, you're walking by the Italy Pavilion at Epcot. They have that one stand like in front of the one building where you can get like different wines, limoncellos, stuff like that. And I'm assuming that's going to be closed because it's basically like a bar. It's a standalone bar.
Yeah, it's
Um,
like not a restaurant.
yeah, the one thing in question though is Uga's Cantina. So they are taking reservations right now for this opening week coming up, but Florida law right now, or Florida order right now, is that they can't have standalone bars, especially not one that's inside. So I don't know if that's just like a mistake or what.
Huh.
And there's also going to be character dining suspended indefinitely, which is different than what we saw at Shanghai Disney. Shanghai Disney still had character dining. They were very much, the tables were separated, and then the characters just kind of like walked through the room and just like waved and said hi to everybody. Didn't stop at each table and things like that. So apparently, there's only going to be two that will be available, and it's um
Topolino's
Topolino's
Terrace.
Terrace Garden Grill. What? So wait, Topolino. Okay, so Topolino's Terrace is the new restaurant on top of the Riviera, which my husband and I were supposed to go to when we were supposed to go in April. Of course, that trip didn't happen. And then Garden Grill is that like rotating restaurant in the land in Epcot. What? Like why? Why would it be that one? That's like the shittiest
Yeah, you get fucking Chip and Dale in your
one.
face.
Lord have mercy. Like why would it be that one? That's so bizarre. Whatever. This is such a mistake.
Anywho, those are your options.
Yeah, those are your options if you are just dead set on having a character dining experience during all of this. Although I would feel like it would be relative. Well, actually, no. Now that I think about it, because if they are, so technically, like the actor is pretty safe in there, you'd think, right? Because they got unless they're a face character. Um, but if they're all like the kids are touching them, and then they could spread the germs. Yeah, so I see that. I see that. I hear you.
I hear you.
One more piece of news before we go on to our Tomorrowland situation. So, are you an AP with a monthly plan?
I am an AP with a monthly
And were
plan.
you guys charged?
I don't know.
I would find
I
out
haven't seen
because,
any charges.
yeah. Oh, well, if you're the one that control, like if you are the person who sees that, I don't know what your banking situation is with your husband, but yeah, I've even talked to some other Instagrammers who were charged the months that it's been closed. Like it was obviously a mistake. But people got charged like several months back pay for
Oh,
their
wait, people
AP.
are, so they've been charged now for the last few months?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Let them try. I will cut them. I know I haven't been, I got charged the first month
Yeah.
that everything was closed down, but after that, like I haven't been charged
Well, that's
yet. But if they
yeah.
come back into my account and take everything from the last few months, one, I'm about to be a broke bitch. Two, I'm about to be a fucking piss bitch
Yeah.
because like what I didn't even have an option to go.
Yeah, I know. People it was very clearly a mistake, but also like that could cause people to go into overdraft or something like that. I
And those
mean,
fees don't
yeah,
stop.
those fees do not
You get one
stop.
overdraft fee, and then they're like, "Oh, you overdrafted, so we charge you an overdraft fee, but you didn't have money in your account for that overdraft fee, so we're gonna overdraft charge you again. So here's four $35
Oh
charges of
my god.
overdraft because you're poor."
Overdraft is like Oh, it's
That's
a
how
pyramid scheme.
banks make their money,
Yeah,
but
no,
that's
no,
a
no, no.
whole other
That's a whole other
conversation.
conversation. So, yeah, so I'm glad to hear that I did talk to some people that this did happen. And for a
Oof.
second, like, I got concerned, but also I'm an out of state AP, so I did not I don't have the option to pay monthly. So I had to pay for mine in one nice little smackaroo. And my AP starts back up in August, which I don't know if I'm gonna renew it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Here's my
I don't think I'm gonna renew mine until I get
Yeah, I don't blame you.
back to
Here's my
Florida.
concern with right. I totally agree with you there. Here's my concern with renewing because it went through and this was again if you listen to my if you listen to some of my gripes like way earlier on in the podcast, I didn't become an AP until August of last year. And I could kick myself for that too because there were like two random price hikes that happened right before I decided to bite the bullet and become an AP. So my concern is if I choose not to renew and then I have to start all over again, like I won't be into well, and I don't even know if this is the case, but do I get like a grandfathered price? I don't know. This is like something we got to look
Mm,
into. We need to talk about this next week.
yeah. I mean, if you decide not to renew, I think
And then I buy it
you'll just
again.
have to. Yeah, I think you'll just have to buy it at whatever cost it is. And that's all, like one of the reasons why I renewed, even though knew I wasn't going to be there this year, because you get a discount when you renew.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not even really a discount. It kind of just negates the price hike of
Right.
that year.
Right. Right.
So it's like full price, but
But from like the year
last year's
before.
price. You're
Yeah.
paying for like last season's price.
Yeah, so that's what so I need to confirm that that's the case. Feel free to let us know. Write in. Let us know if that is the case because that's why I am not sure if I'm going to cancel it or not because I want to continue it. I like being an AP. However, I really
Mhm.
don't know if we're going to go until next year because of what's going on. So I don't know. Why are we so doom and gloom? Actually, I don't even want
I
to talk
don't
about the
know.
next piece of news about minivans because I don't want it to be gloomy anymore. Let's talk about Tomorrowland. Let's be happy. Fuck this.
Okay, so we're gonna go into Tomorrowland, and I think, since we're going around the circle, we should just come into Tomorrowland uh
From the
I
hub
almost said
or
no,
from
I'm thinking
Fantasyland?
from Fantasyland, that's the sentence.
Okay.
Um Number 69, nice. Tomorrowland Speedway.
We are children.
Tomorrowland Speedway. I can live without it. It's hot. It's not very themed. Like
Yeah.
it's not cute. There's nothing cute about it. It's just I like the smell of the gas and the rubber.
Oh, I can't handle that smell. Like that smell is just that's what keeps me off that ride. And it makes me sad because I love Tomorrowland Speedway. I think it is a classic attraction. But if I'm on there, I get a headache because of the gasoline smell. It's so bad.
Live for it. I
Oh, it
love
is
it.
rough. Yeah, I mean, and
It's just not
it's
cute. Like
yeah.
they need to update it maybe like
Well, they shut down for a while. Remember, they shut down because I thought they were doing some kind of refurb. That was what last year when they did that refurb, and like basically all they did was like repaint. I thought they would take away the gasoline.
yeah.
No, no.
No.
But I do like it. I particularly like to ride it at night. I think it's really pretty at night. But again, it
I
smells.
mean, maybe if they had, older trees, maybe like it's so hot. Like you just
Yeah,
are out there to bake, and typically if you're going to go on Tomorrowland Speedway, it's because you're there with your children or niece and nephew or whatever you got that is a small child, and then
right.
they want to drive, and so they just slam into that center bar for 15
Yes. Oh
minutes,
my god,
and
yes. Oh, it's so
And
rough.
then you're like, all right, let's, you gotta park, be careful. And then they slam into the people in front of you. Then you get slammed
Ugh,
into from behind. And you know what? It's just not my favorite ride.
yeah,
It's so hot.
it is
Like,
really
you
hot.
just bake out there.
Yeah, I think like yeah, like you were saying, like I think it's more of like fun for little kids because they get to drive, even though you are slamming into that middle bar the whole time. It's very uncomfortable. Um, I totally. I totally get what you're saying. But yeah, it's not something that like
Yes,
I seek out
yes.
unless I'm like unless honestly unless it's nighttime because again, it's not as hot and it's a little more manageable. The
The end.
end.
Okay, so we're going to continue on to one of the many famous mountains,
Mhm.
Space Mountain, which I love Space Mountain, but it's so scary. Like, you don't even go very fast, but
Yeah,
because it's dark, it feels faster because your senses
right.
are kind of confused. And every time I ride that ride, I scrunch down as far as I possibly can because you can't see anything, and I'm
Yeah.
afraid I'm gonna slap my head on something or my arms on something, so I don't put my hands up like I would on a normal roller coaster. Um, but it's fun. Like there's so many little drops and sharp turns, and I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, if you've ever been in a car accident, I probably wouldn't recommend this one. Because it does jostle you around a bit,
A little bit of whiplash.
but I love it. I freaking love it.
So Nick loves my husband loves Space Mountain. He usually rides it without me. And the reason for that is I think so here's the thing. I think Space Mountain's a really fun ride. However, I
Uh-huh.
have a real problem with rides that are in the dark and that I can't see. And I get it, it's part of the thrill. Because I don't get like motion sickness. I don't like the feel of falling. And because I don't know, I can't like mentally prepare for the hill to come, so that like upsets me to no end because I can't like mentally prepare and see that hill coming. All of a sudden, you just drop out of the sky. That is horrifying to me. I can't handle it. I cannot handle space mountain. It's not that I get motion sick. It's just I do not like not knowing when that fall is about to happen. I really, really don't like it.
That riding Space Mountain is one of my most liked ride along videos that I made on my
Oh
trip.
yeah, that was fun. I remember
Um,
yours. Yeah,
yeah, and people, I mean, it's all
it was
dark and you just hear me
hilarious.
yelling.
Yeah,
But yeah, people friggin' liked it a lot. I might have to repost that if I still got it.
yeah.
But yeah, I just love it. You know, it's really thrilling. And then me and Matt and my cousins usually like strike a real good pose there at the
Oh,
cameras.
nice.
And I think the camera should be moved to like at one of the drops because you can't see anything coming. So like, how funny would it be just to get people's like scared face? But at the
Right,
same time, it'll light up the room too much and kind of ruin everything. But
right.
anywho, I love it. It's one of my favorite rides for sure.
Totally. I agree. Like overall, I do love it. It's just I really so I would love one of my like goals in life is to ride Space Mountain with the lights on. I would be totally fine if I could ride it with the lights on. Could you imagine? Oh,
No,
I would do it. I'd do it in a
no.
heartbeat. Heartbeat.
I've ridden it when the lights were not as dark. I remember for a long time they had the lights up. I think somebody complained because, like you said, you can't prepare for anything, and then, like I said, you get
Yeah.
jostled around, and to like combo that, like you could get hurt, you know, if you're not careful.
Right.
Not that you can really prepare for it, but I think they got a couple complaints, so the ride was just brighter than it usually is. Like
Oh,
you see a
okay.
lot more, but since then, excuse me, since then it's kind of darker.
Yeah. Makes sense. What do we got next?
Astro
Have you
Orbiter.
ever written this?
I
I
have.
have too. I
It,
love it.
it's fun. I like it at night,
Oh,
especially because
yeah.
I love theme parks at night. Everybody knows I love the lights at Disney. I have a Instagram about it. You know, it's like I just love it at night.
Yeah.
And you can just see all the lights, and you're literally like on top of Disney World at that point
Yeah. Yeah,
because it's
it's
on
beautiful.
top of a building, which like it blows my mind. It's on top of a freaking restaurant,
It is,
uh,
yeah.
and then you go even higher. So like just the support. It's freaking Florida, you know, like the wind is crazy
Yeah,
and hurricanes, and like the support, the amount of support that must go like deep under that restaurant for that to be there,
right.
it blows my mind. Just the mechanics of it all blows my mind.
Yeah, it's cool. I love this, and even during the daytime, like, if you because
Mhm.
I tend to ride this one during the day, but it is I have ridden it at night, and it's beautiful, and it's just a beautiful view of the park, and it's basically like a very escalated form of Dumbo, or Dumbo the Flying Elephant, or the Aladdin carpet rides, but
The
you're in, like, these little rockets. and it's just higher
Yeah,
up.
and you're 7,000 feet in the
Yeah.
air.
Exactly. It's
Like,
cool, yeah.
I would we talked about this in our tour through Fantasyland and through Adventureland. Like the Aladdin carpet ride and the Dumbo ride are not lines I would wait more than 10 minutes
Yeah.
for. Like they're snoozes, like those are for the
Yes.
babies, the children.
Yes.
I'd wait in a little line for the Astro Orbiters.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's a
would
little bit
too.
more thrilling. There's a lot more to look at.
Yes.
Um, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
Like literally, like how many times do you say you rode on a ride on top of a freaking building?
Yeah, I mean, basically, you're on top of a restaurant, on top of the People Mover, and then on top because when you look at the 2 lines, the one for Astro Orbiter and then the one for the People Mover, which we're gonna talk about next, they kinda coincide each other, so it's like, every time I wanna get on the People Mover, I have to, like, make sure I'm looking at the right line because they're right next to each
Right.
other, it's kinda
See,
confusing.
and that's one thing I actually really don't like about Astro Orbiters. Like I get like it's on top of a building, but I don't like that the elevator is the main source of getting up there.
Right. Oh, yeah, that is
Um,
annoying. It is.
so it's like I would rather go up like a spiral
Or
staircase
that weird
or
escalator, that
that weird
ramped
escalator
escalator.
that yeah.
That thing makes my foot hurt. Does that make your foot hurt? The escalator for the People Mover?
Not really. I mean, it's a real
It's real
steep.
steep, and that's why it
Uh,
makes my foot hurt.
yeah, like you really gotta like
Yeah,
counterbalance on that thing, and so it is uncomfortable. But I wouldn't say it makes my foot hurt.
yeah. Let's talk about People Mover.
Um, People Mover,
So
Tomorrowland Transit Authority.
ugh,
Um,
love
I
it.
love this
Oh,
thing.
I love it.
However,
Oh, no.
it gets so dark,
Yeah, it
and
does.
I am so afraid of the dark. Guys, like I can't even explain it. Like I borderline hallucinate. Like
Oh,
I
no.
don't understand it. Like I don't know if maybe like that's some kind of a mental thing or if my imagination is just that vivid. But like when it's super dark and I'm by myself, like I see what I'm afraid of. Like I see what I'm thinking. It's scary, and like it just gets so dark. So when I'm on there by myself, it's just like I'm afraid when I come out at the light at the end of the tunnel, there's going to be somebody else in my buggy with me that wasn't there or
Oh,
something.
no. No,
It's
I think you're correct, and the reason because it happens so abruptly, like, all of a sudden, you're in bright Florida sun, and then all of a sudden, it is, like, black, and, like,
boogeyman dark, as
boogeyman
my
and I
mom would
think
say.
your senses are trying to adjust, and they just don't have time to adjust, and that's what makes it seem like you're kinda tripping because of
Yeah,
that, yeah.
it's
No, I totally
it's
hear you.
crazy,
It is kind of
but it's
weird.
fun. Like you go through the laugh floor, you go through the um, shops, you go through Space
Yeah.
Mountain. It's just a really nice chill ride. I mean, it's not very cool, but you get a breeze,
Yeah.
uh, and it's just a moment to reset. It's a good like I don't know 6 minute ride or something like that.
It's it's such a great ride, to just chill out, like, if you have a child and you're trying to put them down or, like, honestly, just sometimes I just wanna, like, not be
Every time
walking.
people say, "Oh, I gotta put my child down," I think of like
Like
Old Yeller, gotta put the dog down.
Yeah, I mean, it's kinda the
So
same thing.
you're just like, if you have a child and you're trying to put him down,
Yeah, exactly, yeah, and, honestly, like, I think it's just such a relaxing ride if you just need a break. This is what you need to do. Like, it's just so comforting and it's cool to go through the rides. This is actually, if you ever get the chance to see Space Mountain when the lights are on. This is the times that I've seen it with the lights are on is when I've been on the People Mover.
on the People
Yeah.
Mover, yeah. You know what I think would make the People Mover a little better is because they talk about like there's that narrator and they talk about things throughout Tomorrowland and like where you're at and like a little tour. But I think it'd be fun if they gave like more like history, like gee
Yeah.
whiz information.
And they do like a
Like
little bit, but like not really. Like they could do
yeah, like
more.
if they like delve in a little bit more, like when you go through Space Mountain, if they're like, "This is Space Mountain. It's a dark, thrilling ride that actually only
Dark
goes about
Flame.
10 miles an hour because it just feels fast." and there's 12 drops. You know what I mean? Like just some gee whiz, like
Yeah,
super. Okay, thanks for the
some
info.
trivia.
I'll carry that.
No, I love trivia,
Some
so I would be
Shreve,
all
yeah,
into that, all into it. Yeah, I it's classic. I don't think I've ever met anyone who's like, you know, when I didn't like the People Movers when I was younger, and I think just because I wanted to just be bopping around everywhere. But now I have
yeah.
such an appreciation for the People Mover. Like I hate myself for not loving it back in the day. I was like, "What is you snobby little shit? Like what's
S-
wrong with you?
Stupid pass, Brady, you idiot.
Stupid." Ugh. Oh, speaking of
S-
something that I went to used to go to a lot when I was a kid, but now I refuse to go into is Carousel of Progress.
Carousel of Progress.
The Progress.
Um, my mom loves this Carousel of
People do.
Progress.
People do.
Yeah, well, I think it's like a nostalgia
Yeah.
thing because it's traveled. Like it went from the World Fair or whatever the heck, and then it went to Disneyland, and
Mhm.
then now it's at Disney World, and people just love the nostalgia of it. I think it's really fun. It has not aged super great,
Right.
but it is fun. It's like minus the fact that somebody was killed in there, but
Wait, what?
yeah, an employee.
What? I don't know
She
that.
was crushed. Yeah, back when it was in the World Fair or whatever, or I think when it was at Disney, uh, one of the employees who manages the ride and hits the buttons or whatever. I guess she was standing too close to where the floor moved, and then the other floor didn't, and she got like caught, and she got crushed between the two
Are you
walls.
serious? How have I never heard of that story?
Google it because it's Disney and they don't want you to know these
That's
things.
true. Oh my god, speaking just a quick digress. If you guys have been seeing my stories recently, I've been posting this girl on TikTok who used to be who did multiple Disney princess face characters, and she be spilling the tea and it's hysterical. And I guess people who are like crazy Disney fans, like not that we are not, but also we are just normal adults and like know how to control ourselves. And people would be like character integrity, which is like preserving the magic. Like if you're talking to someone, like apparently you're not supposed to say, um, like I played, Moana or whatever. Oh,
Right.
you say that you're friends with them because if, God forbid a child was around you and they heard that, they would be like scarred for life. But like, I guess like people would yell at her, be like, "You need to preserve character integrity," when she's just like telling like these wild things that would happen when she was a princess. I was like, everyone needs to settle down.
Settle down.
Settle down.
Simmer down.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, if you guys ever want to skip a ride, here it is. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger
You don't
Spin,
like this ride?
where targets aren't real and points don't matter.
You know,
This ride is the line for
the line is
this.
very long.
The line for
Very long.
this, like, rivals Toy Story Mania at Hollywood Studios, and I think it's because people expect that same gameplay, and then they
Yeah.
go into this one, and they're horribly wrong.
Yeah, I agree with you
Like,
on that one. I definitely agree with you on that one because I think people do go on that ride expecting Toy Story Mania, and it's like, dude, this ride is like 10 years older than Toy Story Mania. You do not know what you're coming into.
yeah, it's I don't like it. Like, you really gotta spin your
Ah,
freaking cart around to get the things, and, like, there's nothing like, really showing where you're aiming at, so you're kinda
yeah.
just hoping for the best. Um, it's just not don't stand in that line.
Also, before COVID, I used to think that ride was disgusting because the sweatiness of people like doing the jack off motion on oh no, that's Toy Story Mania. I'm sorry, the
That's
jack
what's
off.
for
Oh
me.
my god, I'm such like such a 12-year-old boy. Like I'm on that ride and I'm like, this is like full on jerking off, but that's fine. On this one with the gun and everything, like I'm like, that is so gross. Like everyone's hands are sweaty and like using that and no one's wiping the ride off. I was always
Right.
disgusted by Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin.
I think the most grossed out I've ever been getting into a ride, and we'll talk about it whenever we hit Epcot up,
Mhm.
was the test track. I like the people got out, I got in, and where I was sitting, the person before me smelled
Yeah.
so horrendous. It was like in the seat and then on me, and I'm like, "Huh?"
This is one of the
So
reasons I can't wait to visit one of the Asian parks because a lot of Asian men do not have the particular gene that creates smelly sweat, like body odor. So
yes, I've
I
heard
bet those
these.
parks smell so nice. Or just like
Plot twist, they gave it to the women.
I don't know if I think women don't have it. I don't know if women have it, but I know with men, many of them do not have that gene or all of them. I'm not trying to like generalize. I think this is a compliment to your race. I wish I had that gene. um, but I would be into that. But yeah, no, I think this ride either needs an update, it needs to be more like Toy Story Mania, or it's just unnecessary, in my opinion. And I don't even think it's opening.
Unnecessary.
Here's another useless one. Actually, no, I take that back. If you've never been to the park before,
You
go to
better
this.
take it
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. It's good
I
once.
remember when no, no. I remember when I went in 2009, with my mom and my sister. We went in this. There's never a line,
There's
the
never a
the
line for the
long
laugh
or
floor.
the length of the line for the laugh floor is only because there's another show going, Kind of like Philhar Magic. Um, but it is so funny and like it's just so magical because
It's
like they
good.
include people in the audience and it's hilarious. My mom, my sister, and I literally went through like 4 or 5 times uh, because we thought A, it was so funny, and B, like we were just trying to figure out like where are they sitting that they can see us. But obviously, like cameras, now that I'm grown and I'm not a child and I'm like thinking about it. But I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. I think it's really funny. It's very interactive.
Yeah.
They really include people from the audience into the show, and
Right.
it's just I don't know. I think it's hilarious.
I've done it twice. So I've gone to the laugh floor uses the same technology as I think Turtle Talk with Crush came out first, if I'm not mistaken. It's the same technology that they use for Turtle Talk with Crush, so it's like an interactive animated screen that you're watching. So like it makes real-time comments like based on the audience that's before it with the automation that they have. So it is really cool. I think if you're listening to this and you've never gone to Disney World before, 100% try this. The line is never long and it's a lot of fun. But like for me, like I can't do it repetitively. That's just me.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
and I, and
opening.
I see on here it says that you can get a fast pass for it. Don't waste your fast pass
So
on
yeah,
that
do not waste your fast pass on this. You do not need it.
because you're gonna be mad when you could have used it on something rad like that.
Exactly. That was great. I think that's all the attractions. Yeah.
That was the last attraction for Tomorrowland. Which guys,
Hmm.
I love Tomorrowland. I just
I do
love the
too.
lights. I am
You
excited to
don't
see
like the new
how.
sign.
Does anybody like the new sign?
I liked it when I first saw it, like, or when I first saw pictures of it. And then when I saw it in real life, it is very,
You're
very
like, look at this
small.
teeny baby.
It's a teeny baby.
Look at the teeny
Um,
baby sign.
it's very small. It looks really cool at night. It just needs to be like triple the size. It is very
Yeah,
small.
it's just so small.
And Tomorrowland's going through a
Actually,
refurb anyways because they're changing the paint and the look of it to match the new Tron ride coming.
yeah, which I'm kind of excited to see. Like, I think it could use a little bit of an update. Uh, I mean, it's gonna be like all white, which I mean, I just hope the lights are still fun.
I think it's gonna look more like the Tron. So I've been diving into the Asian parks recently, and because the Tron ride is that at Shanghai or is it at Tokyo? I
Shanghai, I
think it's at
think.
Shanghai. Yeah, so that's where the original Tron ride is at Shanghai, and I've been watching some of the because these parks opened probably like a month or two ago. Because they were, hey, they listened to the government and actually used masks and controlled the disease. Shocking. So they were able to reopen their parks and much earlier. And the ride looks stunning, like absolutely
Oh yeah,
amazing. I'm very excited
I
for it.
can't wait.
Maybe it'll free up
I
some
love a
time
good
for
roller coaster.
yeah, and I think is it, like, the way it's, like, you're, like, on a bike, so it, like, looks very familiar to me, like, Flight of Passage, like, the way you're sitting on it. Uh, have you seen
Yeah,
that?
that
Yeah.
and, the new roller coaster at Universal, the,
Oh, yeah.
Hagrid
Yeah, the
ride.
Hagrid ride. Yeah, you're right. Mhm. Yeah.
So, I mean,
Excited.
the style of ride has been done, but, like, I don't know, I think it's gonna be
I think it'll be
cool.
cool.
All the lights,
It's
I really like
beautiful.
lights.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, have I mentioned that I like lights?
I love that.
Uh, so, speaking of lights,
Oh,
cosmic
get
rays.
into it with your segue.
Get
Get
into it.
into it.
Um, it is always loud, but it's a cheap place to get food, like to grab nuggets really quick. Um, and I don't hate it, you know. And then you get obviously you get your refills on your drinks. And so Matt and I would always we will get Powerade, uh, drink that through our meal, and then right before we leave, we'll get a refill, and then put it in our hydro flasks. And bada bing, bada boom. Now
Mm.
we're not paying another $12 for a 12-ounce bottle of Powerade in the park.
Let me,
And then they have that creepy Chuck E. Cheese animatronic.
actually, let me make a quick comment on that. So, yeah, cosmic ray. So, have you ever heard of something called the Magnificent McDonald's? S
No.
Okay. So, back in the '80s and '90s,
1904.
yeah, you know, the largest McDonald's, was in where I live in Ohio, where I live. You can look it up. And it was a giant glass McDonald's. It's still there, but they ended up closing off one of the levels. Now it's just like one floor. And it had this glass elevator, it was very fancy. But it had like do you remember that like that one McDonald's, like it was like he had a moon on his head and he played the piano and shit, you know what I'm talking about? This is like falling on
What
deaf
is
ears.
that?
Okay. Well, anyways, Cosmic Rays reminded me of the Magnificent McDonald's because of the guy, the moon face, and he's also playing the piano in this. And I always used to get confused when I was little because we always went to Cosmic Rays when I was growing up. And I was like, are we at the McDonald's? Because damn it. Anyways,
What the fluff?
you're like, that was
I
a
just
story.
Googled it.
Oh, you just Googled it? Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually horrifying.
Yes.
Imagine like walking down the street and seeing that,
The moon
and then it's starting to like run
or the glass McDonald's.
the moon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like if you're like walking down the street and then it's dark, and then at the end of the street you see that moon face staring at you,
Yeah.
and then he starts like sprinting towards you. Ugh.
So that thing was on the second floor of the Magnificent McDonald's, and it played like those automatic pianos, you know, that like just like play tunes or whatever. And that thing was
Yeah,
haunted you. You go in that place and you see that damn moon man and like play the piano on the second floor of the Magnificent McDonald's. You should Google the Magnificent McDonald's though. You need to check it out in its
I,
90s glory.
no, no, I'll
You like not right now, but you can
no.
do it later.
Scary.
It's wild. Wild. But let's take a look
Oops.
at the menu.
Yes, get into it.
I mean, this is such an OG
Where's
place for me. OG, where I went as a kid every time.
it's it's definitely your basic $1 sign sit down place, but it's a cool place to sit down, like
Yeah, air
cold
conditioning,
temperature
man. That's all I
wise.
can ask for.
It's loud. It is loud,
It's so
but
loud.
because you can order your food on the app. So what Matt and I do is we go find a seat, order the food, and then go pick it up versus walking around with a tray of food searching for a place to sit amongst teeny tiny children.
Y'all, it is 2020. If you are not utilizing mobile order when it's available, I do not know what you're doing with your life. I really cannot, especially someplace
I
like Cosmic
will
Rays.
say, in some people's defense, you can't charge it to your room or like use your Magic Band. You have to have a card on
Yeah.
your phone. Um, and some people still feel sketch about putting their their debit information on a phone. So that's as far as my defense for you will go. Because other
That's
than
as far
that,
as it
you're
goes.
wasting your time.
But that and I get that. I totally understand that. But in terms of like if I can imagine, like, going in with your children, now it's different as 2 people, it's a little easier to find somewhere to sit, but if you're going in with your kids, I also Annie doesn't wait in line, so, like, I can't handle not being able to find a seat, that makes me bonkers. And so you're going into these places and you see all these families walk in and they're like, I don't know why it's so crowded. The park's at capacity, but I thought I could find a place to sit easily in a quick service restaurant. No, like no. Use mobile ordering. Just do it.
Also, I'm looking through the menu here, and they've got a lot of allergy-friendly
Yes.
options. They've got a plant-based sloppy Joe. Like, what the f word is that? But whatever. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly though, I'm like looking at this. I'm going with chicken nuggets.
Oh yeah,
It's
this is like
cosmic
OG.
rays. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting like OG park food at this point. Like for me, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously I'd probably get the plant-based sloppy Joe because that actually sounds really good. And they don't say they say plant-based beef crumbles, so Disney usually serves impossible meat. And impossible meat is fantastic. So like if it's impossible, and I've used impossible meat for sloppy joes, it's great, which is probably what I would do.
Meat crumbles. That's
It just sounds
so
terrible. No, I
gross.
get it. It does sound bad.
Never say that out loud again.
Some meat crumble. That's what we should call this episode. Meat crumble.
Meat crumbles.
What's next?
Oh my gosh. Anti-gravity's galactic goodies. This is just you can get some ice cream here, milkshake or five, whatever you want. It's nothing crazy. It's just a little dessert
Yeah,
place.
it's
You can
cute.
get a bunch of different kinds of shakes or floats. I think this is where you can get a coffee float. So you get like ice cream and then coffee on it.
Mm-hmm. I
Uh,
do love a float.
yeah, from here, I would probably actually not get anything because the thought of ice cream walking around when it's
Such a
super
bad
hot and
idea.
it's melty and sticky is just a mess.
This just kind of explores them, and this might be a topic for another episode one time. Is like I don't understand people who can eat like these insane snacks there. Like, what's going on with your gastrointestinal situation where your body allows you to have like a big ass brownie sundae and then go casually walk around a 90-degree park with like 80% humidity?
Mm,
Like, what's going
like
on?
drinking milk after a long run.
Exactly,
Like,
that's exactly what I think of
what?
it as, like, I just can't, like, and I get it, like, people love it, and I love ge you know when I love getting, ice cream is usually in one of the hotels, but, like, when I come back from the parks, like, at the end of the day, that's when I would like an ice
Yeah.
cream. I have no want or need
Oof.
to walk around with sticky ice cream. Get out of town. I cannot sign up for this.
Get out O Town.
That granted, I do love
So
a
then,
float. I do love a root beer float. I do love it. It's very good.
oh
Just saying.
yes. Oh yes. Um, let's talk about this next one. Cool Ship, hosted by Coca-Cola. Guys, this is the nastiest freaking food stand I have
Oh,
ever
that's so funny.
smelled in my life.
I have a question for you.
Because they got
Oh, no,
okay.
continue, continue. Sorry, continue, continue.
Oh, they got okay. So actually, I don't see it on here anymore. But they used to sell uh, those giant, unrealistically huge turkey legs with those
Ah,
nasty
yeah.
8-inch long tendon. God, it's
Ugh.
disgusting and it smells awful. It smells like hot meat. And then they have that Coca Cola Mister next to it, so it's like just turkey water. They just spray turkey water, and the kids are like
Cannot.
frolicking in this turkey juice coming from the Mister fans. Ugh,
Turkey
it
water.
smells so bad.
This is so foul.
But now they just have churros, so there's that.
But is this the only place you can get churros?
Oh god.
It's the only stand you can get churros. Because churros aren't really like a big thing at
Um,
Disney World. It's more of a Disneyland thing.
yeah, I think there's one in Frontierland, uh, right on that corner, as if like if you're going through Front. Frontierland and you're gonna make a
Oh,
right
you're
towards
right,
Splash
you're right.
Mountain and Thunder
I know
Mountain.
exactly what you're
There's
talking about.
one in
You're
that
right.
stand, I think.
You're right, you're
Um,
absolutely right.
that's and then that stand is like named something I've never seen before, even realize it had a name, and we talked about that during that episode a couple episodes ago. But yeah, I think there's only like maybe two places to get churros here, and this is one of them. But looking at this menu, it looks like that place is kind of dying. So good.
Yeah, I'm not a
Uh,
churro person. I do not I know I'm weird. I do not get the effect of churro. I do like churro flavored ice cream because I like cinnamon, but like I just can't have like some kind of fried dough pastry. I'm not here for that at all. It's not
um,
I'm
I
not into
like
it.
them if they're like really fresh, but if they've been sitting out, not for me.
I mean, the
Let's
amount of
let's talk
churros
about.
at Disneyland. Whew, every stand has a churro.
Oh yeah, and they're all like different kinds of
Mhm.
crazy stuff on there.
Yeah.
Oof, so much sweets. Getting
Gross.
a stomach ache thinking about
I
them all.
know, right? Ew.
So the last restaurant in Tomorrowland is the Tomorrowland Terrace restaurant.
Oh, you missed the lunching pad, which is the restaurant underneath People Mover
Oh
and
shit!
thing.
Yeah, I did.
That's okay.
I sure did. The lunching pad,
Which we just bitched about for a
which
while. Ooh, I lost my
listen,
spatula.
kids, the lunching pad. I didn't even realize that it was a lunching pad until like maybe my last trip to Disney. I just read launch pad, like that's
Yeah.
I don't know, my eyes just saw launch, not lunch.
No, I get that. I think that's the point. It's supposed to trick the eye. I totally
And
get it.
it's definitely the point, but like you're also supposed to know it's a play on words, and I didn't see that forever. So the lunching pad has a couple different things. It's mostly just like snacky snacks, like hot dogs. But this is the only place that you can get a cream cheese stuffed pretzel. And it's a sweet cream, like a sweet cream cheese inside,
Uh-huh.
and it's a lot. It's very very sweet, but like if you can split it with somebody, like me and my cousin split one, and it was good. Like I probably wouldn't have a whole one to myself, but it's different, and it's the only place you can get it in the parks.
I also didn't know
Oh,
they
and
had a
another
frozen
place to get
Coke.
churros.
Yeah, I also didn't know that they have frozen Coke slushy here. We need to have a
Oh,
conversation
you
about it.
like your frozen
God
cokes?
damn, I love it so much. I've never eaten here. My in-laws go here a lot with the kids because again, it's easy place to grab food and they have like hot dogs and that's fine.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm not into the cream cheese stuffed pretzel. If it was stuffed with like cheese, like nacho cheese, I'd be into that all day. Eat it. But I don't
Eat it,
eat
eat
it.
it.
Um,
I mean, I'm always a fan of just a regular Mickey pretzel, but yeah, there's not a whole lot here. There's a Space Ranger slush,
yeah,
which is grape and sour apple layered slush served with a candy straw. Uh, Too sweet,
too much, too much, too much sweet.
too much. I think the only place that I don't just like, obviously in the mornings I get my coffee, but then after that, I only drink water at the parks. Unless
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
at Epcot and then I binge drink. um, But other than that, it's just so hot
Yeah,
and it's so easy to get
yeah,
dehydrated, and then you're gonna have a migraine because you're the lack of water. So it's like I don't drink these sugary
yep.
drinks because it just rapidly increases the rate of which your headache is going to
Absolutely
come.
agree. Absolutely agree. Yeah, I that the only things outside of water that I drink is again if we're at Epcot or any of the parks that serve alcohol. But yeah, I'm not drinking anything else. Ouch.
My thighs are sticking to my chair. Whew, that hurt.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Tomorrowland Terrace? Tomorrowland Terrace is not always open. Like in normal times, it's not
It
always
is
open.
not. It is not always open, and it's got the weirdest hours.
Yeah.
That's where they do the dessert party from.
Yes.
But up in the corner, there is a little like quick service restaurant thing,
Yeah.
and I don't know if they. I'm gonna look real quick. They got a buffalo chicken salad, but they used to have buffalo chicken strips here,
There are chicken
and
strips?
there are chicken
Yeah.
strips. I wonder if you can get like a side of buffalo. They
Oh,
used to
you
like
can, yeah.
hand
You
tossed.
can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get some buffalo chicken strips there. Ooh, Asian chicken lettuce
Yeah, I know,
wrap.
that actually looks really good. I'd be
They
into that.
have a good menu, honestly,
Yeah.
for like a quick grab of a meal, but it's never open.
It's never open when I'm there. I think it's really open, like, in normal times, it's open just, like, mostly in the summer, I think, and I don't really go in the summer that much. When
Mm-mm-mm.
it's more of, like, an over not an overspill, like, it's just, like what it's just, like, if there's just more people, they
A
just need more places.
guava
This one's
strawberry lemonade slushy.
but, like, they have a plant-based barbecue cheeseburger, obviously, I'd be very much into that, and then they also those chicken lettuce wraps, I bet those are awesome.
Oh, the Asian chicken lettuce wrap? Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I'd be super
with
into that.
crispy rice noodles? Mm-mm-mm.
Mhm.
That sounds really good. I mean, again, like, this is where they do the dessert party thing. I don't personally ever see myself going there for the dessert party, uh,
Right.
because, I mean, like, the desserts are good, I'm not mad at the desserts. I know you're not a huge fan of
We've
desserts, but it's
discussed
like,
this, yes.
you yeah, like, your view is gonna be cut off by the roof.
I would think so, right? Or maybe they have, like, a
Unless you
special
get there early and you get
yeah,
well, because the seats all go, like, into that covered terrace, which is nice in the daytime for shade, but you paid $70 to only hear the fireworks and maybe
right.
see a glimpse of them because unless you get there early and get a seat on the ledge, you're not seeing shit.
Yeah, I
You
think
ain't seeing nothing.
that. So that's it?
So, the final stop.
Oh, wait, 1
Yeah,
more
that was the
stop.
last restaurant, but
Damn
the
it.
final stop is, Mickey's Star Traders.
Oh, you are correct. Damn it,
Y
I'm a
yes. This is, it's just a little shop,
dummy. Yeah,
but it's got, like, a bunch of knick-knack here and there things, like, things that you wouldn't really find, anywhere else in the parks. It's obviously very Star Warsy themed,
yeah.
but, yeah, it's just got little toys, and T-shirts. Nothing crazy, but it's where I got my Lost Boys shirt, one of them, um, and it's just a cute
Yeah,
little
and
shop. It's, like, 2 different shops.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like they like you were saying, like, they rotate the merchandise there. So, like, and I find that it really depends on, like, kind of what movies are coming out, like, and if it's, like, more sci-fi related. So, of course, like, when any of the Star Wars movies come out, there's just a ton of Star Wars stuff. But then sometimes there's, like if there was a new toy I remember when Toy Story 4 came out, they had a lot of, like, Buzz Lightyear stuff, or if there's been, like, Wall-E, like, I've seen it kind of just if it's sci-fi related, they seem to put it in that spot.
Right. Right. Anything space themed
Yeah,
and such, which makes sense considering it's the Star Traders.
yeah, makes sense.
But that was we wrapped up Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, where should we go next?
I missed it
I
already.
know.
Um, I don't know. If you guys have any ideas or if you want us to go somewhere in particular and give you our thoughts and like which park we should go to next, let us
Yeah,
know. We'll read through the comments, and if you guys don't give us any suggestions, we'll just pick our own
yeah,
that we want to go to because honestly, we're grown.
we grown folk,
We grown.
but we would like your input.
Well, guys, we would love your input. But
Yes.
that was our virtual tour of Magic Kingdom. We just went through each section, listened to the past episodes. They're all titled, and I hope you join us for the next tour.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyways, I'm Brady McCleary at BradyCam on Instagram, and with me, as always, is the lovely, outstanding.
I'm Annie at WDW Collective.
All right, guys, join us next week. We'll miss you.
Bye.
Bye.